You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast,
delivering player experience news.
Let's go! What is up, guys, and welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 282. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I am joined over Discord by the Nintendo aficionado and hardcore casual himself, Roshan Warner, at Roro.
Hello, hello.
Hello. The host of Large Popcorn and video producer at The Gamer, Christian Macias, will rejoin us next week. He is not feeling well. And the reformed Tarkov Teletubby and my fellow Spartan, Gage Dempster, at Gilbo Biggins.
ready to rock and roll, Dan.
Nice. I like that. That's a better line.
I'm gonna go back to the old one. Don't worry about it.
Ready for duty, Spartan, or whatever he's. Thank you to everyone who is watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/@podcastpxn and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. Thank you to ManMeat for our sponsor today. Just kidding.
Nice.
That's a deep cut for anyone. And the topic of the show this week, guys, is not really one. We're doing the news of the week as our topic of the show. We already have a lot of news to go over. We didn't get to any news last week, so we have news from last week and this week all smashed together into this week's episode. So without further ado, let's dive into that news of the week. So last week we had some showcases that happened, I guess a week ago now. IGN IDED Xbox event had some new announcements and reveals. So I will go through those real quick here. We can spend time on the ones that we are interested in here. Just yell at me and say, Dan, stop. Just like that. All right. We got another look at 33 Immortals, which is launching March 18th. Bring 32 other friends.
You know what? This looks like it might be kind of fun.
It does look fun. Yeah. That's all.
I mean, yeah, we should give it a try if it's on Game Pass. But
yo, I'm down.
Yeah, cool.
We got to find 30 other friends, though.
Yes. We got to get cracking.
We got to start work. Kirik's in the chat. Maybe Kirik will join us. We'll need 29 more friends then.
There we go. See? One at a time.
We're chipping away.
Get there.
All right. Then we got to look at Balatro, which is officially out now on Game Pass. There you go. Enjoy some amazing card game action. This is a hot take, but I played this 2 days ago on Xbox, and I was like, yep, I'm glad that Gage had me buy the phone version, because I do not enjoy it on console for whatever reason. Yeah.
Oh.
I tried it as well just to see how it would play. Same exact reason as you. I downloaded it just to see how it, and yeah, using the stick as the cursor is not very intuitive at all.
No.
I mean, it's as intuitive as it could be for a console, but it doesn't feel better than the mobile, is what I mean.
Yes. Yeah, PC and mobile, I'd say, are the best places to play that.
Absolutely.
All right. Then we got a look at Blueprints, which is launching with Game Pass on April 10th. A unique experience. It combines exploration, puzzles, map making, and card game systems to create a game we've never truly seen before. Interesting. Oh, it pieces like the rooms together. Okay, that's interesting. Huh. All right. There you go. And then we got a game that looks like a game that we have played several times together, but slightly scarier. Buckshot Roulette is coming to Xbox and Game Pass. It is a haunting experience that makes gambling with your life a very literal concept and has already captivated and horrified PC players. It is now coming to Xbox. Like a scarier version of what's the game?
Liar's Bar.
Liar's Bar, yeah.
Yeah, it seems to look like that. Yeah.
Interesting. Keurig says, Avowed is a gem, loving it so much. You hold on to that, Keurig, for a game.
Hey, don't skip ahead, Keurig. Yeah, don't skip ahead.
You hang on to that. Descenders Next was shown off, launching April 9th. I think Christian and I were both intrigued by this with the snowboarding when we were watching it live. Maybe Gage will be on board as well with the little snowboard action.
On snowboard, absolutely.
Hell yeah. I never played the original Descenders, but I looked it up and it got like 70s review scores, so interesting.
That one was just bikes, right? The first one?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, this seems a bit more interesting. I mean, we're all kind of in our ski phase right now, so it'd be kind of cool to try something else out, yeah.
Didn't Ubisoft make a similar game?
Riders Republic?
Riders Republic,
yeah.
Yes.
It was not very good. Did not feel very good. So hopefully they can nail the feeling of this, and then this would be a good competitor to that.
Yeah, why don't we bring back SSX EA? We miss those games. The physics and the snow physics in that game. So good. So good. Josh says snowboard. Absolutely, Josh. We're in on the snowboards here. Then we've got Echo Weaver, which is coming to Xbox and Game Pass, which is a beautifully rendered Metroidvania, and it draws from classic adventure platformers and the likes of Outer Wilds to create a time-looping world where knowledge is your greatest weapon. The trailer also gives us clues to how, across multiple loops, you'll piece together the story and shape a collapsed utopia and escape the temporal prison you're trapped within.
Interesting.
Looks like a cool 2D platformer.
Yeah, the art style is pretty unique. I like it.
Hell yeah. And then we've got a look at Herdling coming to Xbox and Windows PC, which the developer created two of the most exciting mechanic-packed adventures of recent years in the form of far-lone sails and far-changing tides. So you can count us I'm reading from the Xbox Wire, so who the fuck knows is saying this, but count us very excited for the first fully 3D outing, Herdling. Very interesting.
I really dig the vibes with this game, and I think I might be checking this out.
Yeah, the music
looks like this might be a nice little sit back and chill game. Decompress.
Yeah, very calming.
Yeah.
Until you find out that it's like Ori and the Will of the Wisps, where like murder happens right at the start of the game. I'm just kidding.
And it's surprisingly difficult out of nowhere.
Right. Then we got a look at Hotel Barcelona launching in 2025. It's the long-awaited collaboration between legendary designers Suda51 and Swery, and it is almost upon us. It's a 2.5D action platformer, which pits you against the horror-inspired denizens of the titular hotel. And the new trailer dives deeper into the slasher phantom, a brutal game mechanic that summons echoes of the player's past runs to aid them in battle. That sounds cool. Sounds like a roguelike sort of.
Mm-hmm.
It almost reminds me of what was it called? I think it's called Super Meat Boy,
yes.
where it's like
Super Time Force, right?
That might be. I think it's Super Meat Boy is what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Where it's like you'd be going left to right trying to complete the level, but every time you die, when you respawn, you'd see the ghost of yourself run as well. So if it took you enough tries on your last run, you'd hit go and you'd be running alongside like 48 of your ghosts trying to like get to the end of the mission.
Yes, yeah, that sounds exactly like also Super Time Force, which I loved that game. That was so much fun. Like, good game from Capybara, I think. And then we got a look that Jump Ship is coming to Xbox Game Preview. It is developed by... Oh, okay. I was like, what? What? That's not possible. It's developed by Hazelight and Mohang alumni, which is a 1 to 4 player FPS, and it puts you in charge of a spaceship and asks you to take the on-foot combat sections and seamlessly transition between the two. On-foot combat, I think it's missing something. Oh, okay. Spaceships and on-foot combat sections. Yeah. So I think some people were describing this as like Left 4 Dead meets
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves, yes. That's a good
yes,
example.
and sign me up for both of those things. That sounds great. This is going to be a game that whether you like it or not, Dan, you will be dragged into for at least one weekend.
Oh, I'll play it. Absolutely.
This sounds great. I love the idea of the micromanagement on the ship. Somebody's steering, somebody's doing repairs, somebody's trying to navigate, and then breaking up that gameplay pace with like an on-world sort of Left 4 Dead style mission. That sounds like it could be a really good formula. I'm excited for this one.
Let's make Road Drive.
Oh god.
Let's make Road do anything.
You want to crash? My god.
We're gonna crash land on an alien planet and then fight aliens. And Left 4 Dead farm.
Oh my god. Do they have gameplay for this yet, or is it just an announcement?
There is, yes. I don't know why they didn't link the trailer here, but yeah, there is some gameplay.
Okay.
But yeah, it looks and sounds interesting. I'm down to play it with the lads.
I see.
Yes. And then we got a look at Lies of P Overture with a brand new story trailer. We got a closer look at it. Yeah, essentially that more Lies of P. I know Christian was mildly interested in this. I think he was pretty excited about this, saying that the original Lies of P was his favorite Soulsborne-like game, not made by FromSoft. So very good. Very good. Then we got to look at The Lonesome Guild, which is a world premiere trailer. We got to look at this new game, which is a whimsical action RPG full of heart battles and bonds that change everything. Embark on a heroic adventure as Ghost, a spirit who wakes to find they hold no memories. Build your dream team, switch seamlessly between them to solve puzzles and fight your way through the collapsing world of Etir. Awaken the Ghost. That should be their tagline. Awaken the...
Oh, that was you? You didn't just read that?
No,
Man.
I just made that up. Wait, let me make sure I actually just made that up and I didn't steal that from someone. That was a deep cut from last week. Anyway. All right. Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault is officially coming to Game Pass. It is the sequel to the beloved action RPG that answers the question, where do RPG merchants get their stock? It's a full 3D isometric look offering new challenges and rewards. This looks cool. Art style looks very cool.
The first Moonlighter is one of my favorite games that I played on the Switch, I think. Very, very good game. Very interesting concept where you're doing these runs in a dungeon, and everything that you loot and you bring out of the dungeon, you then have to set up shop and try and sell it. And there's this fun little gameplay mechanic where like you have to price your items right, and you have to watch how your customers react to the items to know if you've overpriced them or underpriced them. So kind of similar to why I'm excited about the Jump Ship game is that it's very cool. It takes the roguelike formula and then adds this new mechanic to try and freshen up the pace a little bit. Highly recommend Moonlighter, and I'm very, very excited for the sequel.
Oh yeah. And Gage is going to be so excited about this as well. Outbound is coming to Xbox in 2026. This is a gorgeous open world exploration game that sets you off with an empty camper van and sees you turn it into the home of your dreams, alone or together with your friends. This is going to be I'm calling this right now. This is going to be a game we buy and then refund immediately an hour later. But,
what?
you know,
You're crazy.
I'm kidding.
You're crazy.
Yeah, scavenge materials, craft and build in and on top of your vehicle with modular parts. So this is definitely like a Gage. He wants to like buy all these parts and move them around and mix and match them. Yeah.
I can't wait to micromanage my space and make everything pretty.
And then it is not Patapon, it's Ratatan coming to Xbox, a new game from the creators of the beloved Patapon. It is a rhythm strategy roguelike that sees you taking increasingly huge groups of minions through a world in which you need to literally conduct your attacks. Hit the rhythm and you'll stay alive. Kind of sounds like a little bit of Hi-Fi Rush. I've never played Patapon, so.
Me neither.
Maybe we would like it though, Ro.
Perhaps, if it's kind of like Hi-Fi Rush.
Although I'm looking at the gameplay and this looks
nothing like Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah. This looks like more like Guitar Hero meets like a platform. I don't know. Or I don't know. Maybe that's a bad comparison. And
like
then, sorry. No, go ahead.
I was going to say it looks like a side-scrolling like rhythm game sort of vibes, but I don't know what other game to compare it to though.
Right.
It's very
besides
unique.
Patapon, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
All right. And then we have Revenge of the Savage Planet coming to Game Pass on May 8th. And yeah. Revenge of the Savage Planet. I don't know. That doesn't look like Dan's cup of tea. And we got a world premiere of Rock Beasts, which is described as a rock and roll band manager game in which you play the manager of a legendary 90s band who just happens to be animals, lead a band of misfits on roller coaster ride to stardom in the age of MTV, rock anthems, and bad haircuts. Rock Beasts is a story-driven, role-playing management game that puts you in the shoes of a manager of an up-and-coming rock band. This is a row game. Come on, right?
It would be. I think at high school / college row would definitely play this.
Hell yeah. But high school and college row is dead.
Dead. Long gone.
All right. Tanuki Pon's Summer is coming to Game Pass. We got another look at this adorable courier life sim after its debut at Tokyo Game Show. The new trailer showed us how we'll be performing stunt-filled delivery missions alongside relaxing in its bucolic town.
Very chill.
Like Death Stranding, delivering packages. All right. Then we got Tempopo coming to Game Pass on April 17th, which is the newest title from the award-winning team behind Unpacking. It is a puzzle adventure bursting with music. You play as Hannah, and you enter a fantasy world in which you need to conduct titular. What is up with everyone using titular as the word here? Tempopo creatures to solve puzzles scattered across the world's sky islands. Interesting. Not a Dan game, but you know. And then we're back inserted into the Tron universe with this cartridge, and it is Tron Catalyst, which is launching June 17th. It is the development team at Bithell Games, and they gave us a look at the game's protagonist, Exo, who is fighting for her survival in the arena. An explosive event has gifted Exo the ability to perceive the glitch tearing apart her home, the arc grid, and given her the unique ability to loop time itself. It is an isometric action game with light cycle exploration. Interesting. I don't know about that. I don't know about it.
Me neither. I played one of Bithell games before a really long time ago. It was like circular or something. I don't remember, but it was like a visual novel. It was pretty good. But besides that, I have no experience with Bithell games.
I was gonna say they sounded familiar, but I don't know. Oh, Thomas Was Alone. They made Thomas Was Alone.
Ah, yes.
So I played that. Okay, interesting. Then, oh, sorry.
No, just trying to find the name. Subsurface Circular was the game that I played.
Hell yeah.
Interesting.
Then we got to look at Ultimate Sheep Raccoon coming to Game Pass. Of course, they released a demo for this game, and there may have been a few people that played it and were like, what the fuck happened to this?
Yeah. It was a disappointing demo, to say the least.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's just they have a lot of kinks to iron out, and those kinks can be ironed. But I did not walk away from the demo feeling the need to try it again anytime soon. I'm not hankering for more Sheep Raccoon. I don't know if you feel the same.
Yeah,
No.
absolutely. Yeah, I think we all felt the same.
Yeah.
Ultimate Chicken Horse, way better game, I think. But also the game, Ultimate Sheep Raccoon was also very broken. Like,
yes,
a lot of things just didn't function correctly.
Right.
So, yeah. Hopefully they get it ironed out, and then maybe I'll give it another go when it's in Game Pass. And then we got to look at Wax Heads launching in summer of 2026, which is a new look at this slice of life narrative game set around running a struggling record store. Showing off its gorgeous hand-drawn looks, the trailer shows more of how you'll chat to quirky customers with unique tastes, explore a handcrafted record collection, fall in love with bands and their drama, or just slack off with your colleagues. Let's do the last one. Let's slack off. And then the last piece of the ID at Xbox event, Voodoo is coming to Xbox, and it is a cozy story-driven game showing off a beautiful art style and pieced together 3D puzzles. It shows how you'll build the story by literally building the world, pulling 3D objects from your menus to fill a scene, revealing more of the tale of main characters Foxy and Ben as you go. Time to get woody. Or woodoo. Wood. Get wood.
Okay.
All right. So, moving over to another showcase, there was also Annapurna Interactive Showcase, and we've got some highlights here as well, which this one seemed to be a smaller one. There's only a few things here, unless this article is missing things. But we got to look at Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is the critically acclaimed rhythm game coming to PlayStation 5. And you'll experience a brand new PS5 exclusive remix arcade game mode, chasing high scores in endlessly replayable levels set to a selection of songs from the game's iconic soundtrack. Sayonara Wild Hearts. Then we got to look at Lush Foil Photography Sim, which is we're going to explore diverse landscapes, play with camera settings, and capture the perfect shot in lush foil photography sim, featuring breathtaking locations from the picturesque Italian countryside to the saltwater beaches of West Australia. Lush foil photography sim, god damn it, that fucking title, delivers the premier digital photography experience, ramping up your favorite in-game photo modes to 11. Coming to PS5 on April 15th.
I feel like Christian might like this one.
Yeah. And you know what I'd say to Christian? I'd say just pick up your goddamn camera and fucking go to these places yourself.
Jesus.
Oh my
I'm
god.
just kidding.
I'm gonna remember that the next time you ever play any sports game, Dan, you're gonna get one of those.
Wait,
Grab a soccer ball and go outside.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. Oh, Christian here. Christian's here. He said,
Oh.
I've played it actually, he said.
Oh,
There you go. Christian's played it. All right. The next one, To a T, which is led by esteemed Katamari Damacy creator Kita Takahashi. To a T is a charming, colorful adventure game about a teen navigating life in a small town with their cute dog companion. Play as a teenager. Why is teen in parentheses? Like, does anyone out there need the fucking shorthand of teen described to them? Like, we all know teenager.
Teenager is the
Fuck.
full word. Why are you giving us the
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, with a unique posture, just trying to live a normal life in a small coastal town, explore the town along with the help of teen's loyal dog and loving mother. While going to school and contending with bullies, teen discovers a new ability granted to them by their extraordinary posture as they start to uncover more about their mysterious lineage.
Oh, I think the character's name is also Teen.
I think you're right. After I was reading it,
My
yeah, that makes sense now. Insane. That's like Hideo Kojima level.
I was
naming.
just get out of my brain, bro. I was just thinking about that. If this was a Hideo Kojima game, Christian would be like, yo, it really encapsulates the
They were so brave in choosing that name.
It's like a double meaning. His
Yeah.
name is Teen, but he's also a teenager.
All right. And then the last thing here is Wheel World. Wheel World is a single-player bicycle racing adventure where you're tasked with preventing the world from collapsing. You are Kat, a young cyclist with one mission: save Wheel World from total collapse. Explore a stunning world filled with impressive vistas, hidden secrets, and races that will test your skills. Customize your bike with an endless array of parts, from sleek speedsters to off-road beasts. There's no limit to how you can ride. Launching this summer. Interesting. Kind of like almost a hand-drawn feel to it as well. I don't know, a little more artsy. I like it. All right, done with the showcases. Moving into more layoffs in the industry, which we added more today. But first, Warner Brothers has announced major layoffs and studio closures, which includes they are shutting down Monolith Productions, Player First Games, and Warner Brothers San Diego. And the Wonder Woman game is officially canceled, as first reported by Jason Schreier at Bloomberg. The official statement here: we have had to make some very difficult decisions to structure our development studios and investments around building the best games possible with our key franchises: Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones. After careful consideration, we are closing 3 of our development studios: Monolith Productions, Player First Games, and Warner Brothers Games San Diego. This is a strategic change in direction and not a reflection of these teams or the talent that consists within them. The development of Monolith's Wonder Woman game will not move forward. Our hope was to give players and fans the highest quality experience possible for the iconic character, and unfortunately, this is no longer possible within our strategic priorities. This is another tough decision as we recognize Monolith's storied history of delivering epic fan experiences through amazing games. We greatly admire the passion of the three teams and thank every employee for their contributions. As difficult as today is, we remain focused and excited about getting back to producing high-quality games for our passionate fans and developed by our world-class studios and getting our games business back to profitability and growth in 2025 and beyond. And before we talk about that here in a second, comic writer Gail Simone has also chimed in as well and revealed that she was working on Warner Brothers' canceled Wonder Woman game, calling it both gorgeous and expansive. Everyone who worked on it brought their A game. So, very unfortunate news. And some of the top developers at Warner Brothers, well, I mean, at least Monolith being let go is very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
And I
was
guess...
looking forward to that.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, go.
I was just going to say, and also, I guess, Player First, they made Multiverses, right? They were the ones that made that. I think.
Possibly. Yeah, just sad, disappointing. I was looking forward to the Wonder Woman game. I know every time that there was like predictions, like Wonder Woman is going to be revealed sometime. But it's even sadder because the Nemesis system, they like patented and no one else can use it, and I think they're going to use it in this game. And now the game's not coming out, so it's so weird because I'm sure other people would like to use that.
Yeah, I mean, and I think I feel like that's maybe part of the problem too, because like I think that the reports where they were struggling on how to use that with the Wonder Woman game, and it's like, yeah, like why not at least like license that technology out or something? Because like there's definitely franchises that would be well suited to. I feel like, yeah, very interesting. And then we got more layoffs announced, with NetEase planning to cut many more of its non-Chinese development teams, which is very interesting. NetEase plans to cut more all-star game studios, divest itself of the majority of its overseas teams via Steven Totillo. Cutbacks have already impacted teams, shuttering studios formed by industry veterans like Untold Worlds, Jar of Sparks, Humanoid Origin, and major layoffs at Liquid Swords. Suda51's Grasshopper manufacturer, Nagashi Studio, Quantic Dream, could be among a dozen studios facing potential closure if they can't secure new post-NetEase funding. Insane. So they buy up all these things and studios, and then now they're like, nah, if you're not Chinese studio, we're getting ready to see you. Insane.
So you didn't have to buy us. Like
right.
Oh, God.
Not good. Maybe it's time to stop for American companies to stop doing business with Chinese companies. This tends to happen a lot, but
yeah, but you're forgetting, Gage. You're forgetting, Gage. China and Russia are our closest allies. You know,
that's true. That's
a
good point.
Our president thinks that we should be best friends with them.
That's true. Morals don't matter. Just does the dollar sign go up? Yes
right.
or no? Do that thing. My bad.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, fuck people having their homes destroyed and civil unrest in Ukraine because a crazy dictator in Russia invaded them. Fuck that. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about dollars, like you're saying.
One nation under green. I mean, God. Sorry.
Yeah, can I? You guys taking applications or?
Please. You do so well up here, Dan. Please.
The second part of this, though, is interesting as well because NetEase's CEO had debated on canceling Marvel Rivals before launch because he didn't want to pay Disney the licensing fees. The company is currently slashing jobs, and Japanese creators like Yakuza creator Toshihiro Nagoshi will receive no additional funding to complete or market their current projects. Ugh. So you almost canceled your most successful project ever. So insane. And then just developing, we got news that Sony has laid off an unknown number of individuals from its San Diego-based visual arts studio, as well as PlayStation Studios Malaysia, according to a Kotaku report and testimonies from former employees on LinkedIn. Fucking San Diego's having a hell of a time with all these layoffs. Jesus. Per Kotaku, staff were informed earlier this week that March 7th would be their last day and included developers who had contributed to a number of different projects, such as a recent canceled live service game at Bend Studio. Visual Arts is an art and technical support studio that has worked over the years with PlayStation's other first-party studios, most notably the recent Last of Us Part 1 and 2 remasters. Interesting. Not good.
Not good.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy, dude. That just seeing this added up here in this report, 2023 there was an estimated 10,000 game developers laid off. 2024 rose to 14,000 game developers, and obviously not off to a great start for 2025. Who's going to be left?
Who's going to be making the games?
Right.
And that, with the context that the game industry has never made more money, is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That too. But they could be making more.
More money. My bad. You're right. I'm stupid. I wasn't thinking.
Yeah. So what if we cut the developers making these games? We could make so much more money. Well, who's going to make the game? AI.
Yeah,
Right.
I'll make the games. We don't have to pay them.
Yeah. We're all doomed. But mainly Americans. Moving into the quick bites here, guys. Among Us 3D, a first-person perspective Among Us game is coming in 2025. We got an announcement here. Boom.
This will be fun for someone.
Hey, I enjoyed Among Us when it came out. I think we should, if we got a big group together, I think it would be fun.
You know what? I won't say no. I'm just not exactly hankering to download it myself, but I will do it for the lads if that's what the lads want.
Come on. We could play the original one. It doesn't even have to be the 3D one.
I don't want to play either of them.
Oh my, come on.
It's not the pandemic anymore, Dan. There's other games to be playing.
Other games such as Split Fiction, which comes out this Friday. Make sure you pick that fucking game up and you'll find out why here in a few minutes. But we have a news story here on Split Fiction, which is Split Fiction's Friend Pass will be fully cross-platform for the first time ever, which is insane. I have no idea how they did this because, like, you know, if somebody buys this on PlayStation 5, like, how's Microsoft okay with the person not paying anything on Xbox? Like,
Right.
That's actually wild to me that they were able to do this. That's awesome. Really cool. And their new advertisement came out. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. The new ad is insane. It's hilarious. It's
I have not seen it.
You what?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. It's basically Joseph Fares announcing the friend edition of Split Fiction, and they have real humans in it for someone to play Split Fiction with, and it's him and like boxing people up and shipping them out. It's hilarious.
I'm seeing it now.
Yeah. I like dumb shit like that. It's just funny.
It's cute. I like it.
This one.
You wish you had a friend to play with? Here, I'll get you one right away. Nice.
That's a service we all need sometimes. You know?
Hell yeah.
You got a friend of me. Oh, sorry, we're gonna get copyright struck. My voice sounds exactly like what's his name that sings that. Forget his name.
Oh god, I forget his name too.
Yeah. Some popular guy.
Isn't it Armstrong? Something Armstrong? Louis Armstrong?
Is it Louis Armstrong?
I don't know. I could just be saying words.
Randy Newman. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying words.
You got a friend of me. All right. Next quick bite here. Peter Jason, the voice of Dizzy from Gears of War, has passed away at the age of 81. So at least not a 40s or 50s person dying. I'm tired of seeing those. That's crazy. Too early. So much respect to this guy, Dizzy. All-time character in Gears. And then our next quick bite. Balatro has officially won its appeal to reclassify as Peggy 12 from Peggy 18 in Europe. On the basis of this appeal, the Peggy Experts Group will develop a more granular set of classification criteria. It was pulled from sale in some countries originally due to a mistaken belief that the game contains prominent gambling imagery and materials that instructs about gambling. So that's very cool that they actually went back and corrected this, because I definitely don't think that this game's eliciting any kind of gambling, considering there's no microtransactions and nothing like that. So
there's quite literally more gambling that could be done in FIFA than Balatro,
correct,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yep. All right. Moving to the next item. Fable has officially been delayed to 2026, but we got a look at some new gameplay. Gage, let us hear what you've got to say.
You ready for what I got to say, Dan?
I'm ready. I already kind of know what you're going to say.
I think graphic fidelity wise, this is what I was expecting from Playground Games. It looks gorgeous. The gameplay looks jank as fuck. I am not optimistic about this gameplay. It looks very stiff. It looks very wooden and like very, very tiny vertical slice we're seeing, and I'm a bit worried.
You know what I will say to that?
What's that?
I will say Fable reminds me a little bit of Avowed in that it doesn't demonstrate that well, but we're also seeing a very small slice of it here. And I feel like Playground has it a bit more like, I feel like this is like, how do I say this without like making it sound like Obsidian is like a lower tier, but like Obsidian's games are Obsidian. Like they feel like Obsidian games. I feel like Playground's Fable is going to be like a tier above that just by looking at this, but like it still kind of has like a similar type of like look to it where you're like, man, this might have some jank to it, like Avowed.
Right. Well, hold on. I mean, I see the mind that you were trying to step around there, but like I don't think it's an insult to say that like Avowed is not a AAA game. Like it's not it's not The Last of Us. It's not this huge, crazy, big budget pushing the edge forward. Like, I mean, back in the day, look, you and I always talk about like Pandemic Studios, like Mercenaries, right?
Oh yeah.
Like there used to be a variety of like tiers of games that had nothing necessarily to do with the quality of enjoyment you got out of it, right? And I think that's kind of what you're talking about. Like, but yeah, Obsidian doesn't Grounded, even to a certain extent, the Outer Worlds. It's like these aren't these crazy big, huge ticket items, but they are very good. But they stay in their lane. Like they're these maybe double A, you'd say maybe triple B games. There's nothing wrong with that. And I see what you're saying. Yeah, Fable is probably trying to be a triple A game.
Yeah.
And that's a very good point. Avowed did not look very good. Like you're right, it didn't demonstrate well, and it's different when you actually get your hands on it. So that's totally fair. I'm only commenting on what I've seen so far.
For sure.
But that's a very fair point, and we'll get into Avowed later as well.
Absolutely. All right. Moving on from there to the next quick bite. Activision has admitted to using generative AI in Black Ops 4. Why did I say Black Ops 4? Black Ops 6 assets. Of course, that famous zombie screen that had 6 fingers. That is one of them. There's
maybe 4 people that are shocked by this news because everybody else was like, "Yeah, that's AI."
Yeah.
The zombie's got 6 fingers on his one hand. That's AI. That's yeah.
Insane. There's tons of talented artists out there. Just fucking have someone do some screens. Like it's not hard.
Again, it's always the biggest video game companies, the biggest movie production companies that are the ones that are using AI first. And it's like you guys are the ones that have the money to not do this.
Right.
Oh gosh. It's not like they don't have artists on their team. Like you don't even have to hire people. Just like, hey, could you whip something up for the menus?
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
You employ me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here to do. I'll do it. Just ask. And Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't some of the older Black Ops games that like I'm thinking maybe Black Ops 1 or 2, like when you'd load into a zombies map, sometimes they'd have like a stylized like comic book type looking like you don't have to try and make it super photorealistic and there's nothing else we can do except use AI. It's like if you don't want to dedicate a lot of money to it, have one, like Rose said, have one of your artists that already work there. But hey, do something quick, do a fun little stylized zombie, or do I don't know. There's a lot of options before AI, but these companies love pressing the AI button whenever they get the chance.
Yes.
Or we could just not do anything. Like these are what are these? These are menus or
just
like between
screens.
maps.
Yeah.
Just like you could just do like a blank screen if you want to, and like text.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to. You just put it into an AI thingy.
Especially with how short loading times are supposed to be this gen with the faster SSDs anyways. Like, I mean, how often are we going to see these menus?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Insane. Keurig says AI doesn't ask for vacation, benefits, or lunch. AI doesn't get sick, but... And then Glenn said, how do you guys think the rich stay rich? Yeah, thanks, Glenn. Thanks for that reminder. Incredible. Bloober Team has announced a new game deal with Konami, of course, on the back of their successful Silent 2 remake. Maybe gonna go back to the Silent Hill board to do another classic Silent Hill game, or maybe a new Silent Hill game. Very interesting.
I know a lot of people criticize Bloober Team with like, what was that game they did that launched with the Xbox Series X, where it was like switching back and forth between worlds?
Was it Medium or something?
That's what it was.
Okay.
I know a lot of people have said that Bloober Team is like, the criticism of that studio for a while has been they're really good at gameplay and atmosphere. They're not very good at story. So that's why I had a feeling that their remake would be really good, because they don't have to worry about the story. It's already done.
Yeah.
And obviously Silent Hill 2 remake was probably their most well-received game in a while. So it does not shock me at all that they're looking to go back to that, maybe maybe build up some talent and get comfortable with this sounds bad, but get comfortable with good stories so that then they can write their own. But,
Take a cue or two from these
right.
amazing games. Yeah. Or they could just keep I mean, there's a lot of game studios that become experts, so to speak, at the remakes. Maybe they become that studio.
And I mean, as we move farther and farther away from these games that, you know, were great, I mean, we're going to want remakes, like full-fledged remakes. I mean, not half-assed remasters, but yeah, I mean, I won't say no to a studio that just totally hones in on its craft and becomes the remake sort of premier studio. That's not a bad thing at all.
For sure. We have a brand new price point for PlayStation VR 2. Starting in March, PlayStation VR 2 is available at a new great price coming from PlayStation, and that price is on the other side of this link that I didn't click yet. The new price is $399.99 American, €449 Euro, and $399 whatever the other thing is. I don't know. $399 or 66,980 yen. So there you go. PSVR 2, a little bit more affordable. Still not quite probably what it needs to be for it to take off, but a lot better price than what it was before. And maybe some more PC players will pick it up now at that price, considering you can interface with PC now. All right. Ro, Pokemon Legends Z to A has now gotten a release window of late 2025.
Hell yeah. They did a little Pokemon Directs last week for Pokemon Day, and they showed off Pokemon Legends Z to A, which is like it takes place in the same region as X and Y did, but in a different time period, I believe. But it follows like the same sort of gameplay as Legends Arceus, so it's like an open world sort of game, and the battle system is similar to that too, where it's not really turn-based, and you could just it's more action. So yeah, it looks up my alley. I enjoyed Legends Arceus a lot, despite it being very buggy. Same with Scarlet and Violet. I love that game, but like it just didn't run super well. So hopefully with the Switch 2, they are able to make some much needed improvements. And it's not a long time, but this is the longest that they've taken to develop like a Pokemon game between the mainline games. So hopefully they took some time to polish it a little bit more. Yeah, so I'm super excited for the release later this year, apparently.
Hell yeah. Has it been 2 years since Arceus? Is that right? Or more than 2?
I want to say it's more than 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Pokemon.
I couldn't remember when it actually launched.
I want to say 2022, so even longer.
Oh, wow.
January 2028, 2022 was the last one. But of course, they did Scarlet and Violet between them too.
Got it. Okay. The end November of that year, I guess.
Scarlet and Violet was also 2022. So yeah, usually they don't take 3 years to do the next one.
That's exciting.
It's usually faster than that. So yeah, it is. It's good. Hopefully the time between these games is noticeable.
Absolutely. Hopefully we can afford Switch 2s here in the US. Fucking
Hopefully.
You know? Well, we'll get to that here in a minute. Monster Hunter Wilds is going crazy right now, guys. It has reached over 1 million concurrent players on Steam. It's the 8th game ever to reach over 1 million concurrent players on Steam. The first Capcom game ever to reach over 1 million concurrent players. And it has also sold 8 million copies in just 3 days. Ooh, Capcom killing it.
Oh, yeah. Love to see it.
Absolutely. We love to see it. Indeed.
And was it Capcom? I hope I'm not, because I don't want to give them credit where credit is not due, but I'm glad that they're doing well. But there was a Japanese company, I'm trying to remember if it was FromSoft. It might have been FromSoft that gave like a bonus to their employees after having a really successful launch. I think it was FromSoft with Elden Ring.
I think it was FromSoft,
Okay. I thought it was either Capcom or FromSoft, but okay, never mind. But still, congratulations to Capcom for the
yes,
the wins.
It was FromSoft, 11.8% salary increase they got,
which is awesome. But yeah. Okay, cool.
Very, very cool. All right. Rockstar has officially acquired Video Games Deluxe and renamed it Rockstar Australia. Of course, this is the developer of Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. Not to be confused with the original launch of this game, which was released by Grove Street Games, I think. And these guys came in and basically fixed the game because it was completely broken. So Rockstar bought them, renamed them. What's interesting is their founder is the same founder that originally created Team Bondi back in the day, which made LA Noire. So essentially that team being acquired. All right. The next one here, Fire Sprite's Twisted Metal game has gotten some information here. We got images that hint that the developer, Fire Sprite, was making a live service game that blended the series' signature vehicular combat with battle royale mechanics. All of this was under NDA, but it got out. They said that the project was a third-person vehicular action combat game based on a classic IP, of course, Twisted Metal, owned by PlayStation. It had third-person shooter mechanics wrapped with third-person vehicle combat with the objective of being the last one standing. So essentially like a battle royale mixed in there. I'm not quite sure. I saw some people like that, some Twisted Metal fans like saying like, well, this isn't Twisted Metal. Like, what? I don't know how excited those people would have been for this game, but
it's unfortunately it's a it's a regular move for companies to be like, let's revive this old franchise. What should we do with it? Let's make it a new current game, but just use the setting of old game.
Yeah.
Well, you're not really reviving the franchise then. You're just using it.
Yeah.
To try and
make
further
money.
Whatever. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Christian put almost 50 hours into Wilds, apparently.
Oh.
Interesting. We got official announcement now, and an official announcement now of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4, which is real. It is coming in June or July. I mean, July 11th. You can also buy the digital deluxe edition, which includes a Doom tie-in, which the Doom stuff looks kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, but bringing this back.
I was talking to Christian about this on the weekend, and it seems like I'm the only person excited for this, but
Really?
Are you excited, Dan?
I'm excited. I enjoyed the classic Tony Hawk games.
I love those games. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 is I think in my top 5 of all time. I love that game, and so I'm definitely gonna if it's coming to Game Pass, which I'm assuming it is because it's an Activision game.
True. Yes, it is. It is coming to Game Pass.
I think I'm gonna be there day one, and hopefully it's not broken.
Very cool. Keurig said, I watch Wilds and it just doesn't do it for me. Not for me. Game looks good and I'm sure it's fun. Interesting.
That's fair.
Interesting. Christian says, tell him what we did when we talked about this. on what you made us do.
We'll get to that when we get to what you got for me. Don't you worry.
Well, interesting. All right, the next quick bite here. PlayStation has announced a new beta program that lets players test out upcoming PS5 and PC games and more. Registration is free and it begins today. Go sign up if you want to be a part of this program. There you go. Very cool. And our last quick bite of the evening. Video games are about to get much more expensive in the United States, with the new set of tariffs in the United States on goods coming from China, Canada, and Mexico. I don't know why I said Mexico. Mexico. Analysts are warning gamers to expect an impact on the price and even availability of video games, consoles, and other tech items. Who could have thought that would happen? Thank you, Donald, for being an absolute moron.
It's a beautiful word. I love the word tariffs. It's the most beautiful word.
Yeah.
There's no downsides, only up.
I watched that presidential address yesterday for about 5 minutes, and I wanted to punch my fucking hand through the wall, and I turned it off.
I watched the whole 2 hours.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got to watch fucking two groups of babies whine at each other.
I hate to say it, but one group was
well, yes,
MIA.
yes,
They were
yes,
not
yes.
doing anything.
Right.
There was a little commotion at the very beginning, and then after that, they just sat down and said nothing and did nothing. It was very disappointing, but
Very sad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, America.
Video games are already so expensive.
I know.
How much more expensive can they get?
I'm gonna be sneaking up to Canada now to buy fucking video game stuff. That's what it's gonna
yeah,
happen.
save all your physical purchases for June, and then just come up and buy a bunch, and then go back down.
Yeah. The Switch might be out by the Switch too.
That's true.
Might
That's
be
a good
out by
point. Maybe we can get our Switches together.
Hell yeah. All right, let's do our fantasy draft check-in here. We've got some items to update, guys, since 2 weeks ago. Let's just see here. February 15th, that would have been before last week, so that we already covered. So we have just one update, which is Rose Devil acquired game Blueprints with a bid of $3. I don't even know what Blueprints is, but Christian, if he were here right now, he would be saying, "This game's bomb." All right. Let's see here. Our upcoming release schedule, Split Fiction, comes out this Friday, and we have reviews for that, and it is officially a 90 on OpenCritic right now. Civilization 7's fucking disappointing me with 9 fucking points. It keeps going down somehow. What the fuck? No. And Split Fiction is giving me 20 points, a massive 20. Jesus. I needed that. Thank you, Joseph Fares. Thank you.
Insane.
20 points. And we have another update as well, which is from Row Your Boat Games. Everhood 2 has a 78 right now, giving Row 8 points.
I'll take it.
Did we already talk about Monster Hunter Wilds? I don't remember if we did or not.
I don't remember either.
I'm just going to say it then. Monster Hunter Wilds also has Row netting a whopping 20 points, also sitting at 90 OpenCritic. That's huge.
Hell yeah.
Rose fucking stacked here if all these games come out. If GTA 6 comes out, Metroid Prime 4 comes out, dude, we're fucked.
It's crazy because GTA 6, if it comes out in 2025, it is a minimum 30 points for Row.
30.
Probably
95?
yeah,
I feel like 95 is a very easy.
Yeah.
That's not crazy at all.
I agree. Ro's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, I don't even have to do anything. I'm just gonna let this happen.
That was my greatest mistake, dude. I don't know what my number one pick was. Oh, it was Silk Song. I wanted to steal it from Christian, but I was like, just pick GTA. I was like, no, I can't. Rose swooped in and got it. It was a great pick.
Unless it gets delayed.
Unless it gets delayed, yeah.
And then I think that was the only other update. I think did we because we talked about Avowed 2 weeks ago, right? Or did we? Reviews. Oh, let's just throw it in here. Gage has Avowed with 81 on OpenCritic, giving him 11 points. So the point totals here. Gage is still in first with 41 points. Row Your Boat Games is in second with 39 points. Dan is now in third with 29 points. Thank you to Split Fiction. And Christian, for the first time ever, is in last place with 16 points. Of course, still a long way to go.
It feels so good to hear you say that, man.
We have a bit of a lull for March now since Split Fiction is almost out. So our next games are not coming until April unless someone picks something up in the meantime before that. South of Midnight would be the next one after this, coming April 8th, another Dan game. And then we have Blueprints that Christian just picked up on April 10th. Doom the Dark Ages, another Dan game on May 15th. And Elden Ring Night Rain, rounding out May 30th for Christian as well. Ro better pick up some.
Decides to pick up AC Shadows.
That's true. Are you gonna pick it up, Ro?
I'm not, but there. But the what's the word? The online discourse is starting to shift in its favor a little bit after they release some clips.
Ro, you will not trick me this time.
I'm just saying.
You tricked me last year. I bid on 2 games from things you said, and then I was like, I got fucked. I don't buy your bullshit that you're trying to feed me right now. I'm not falling for it.
Assassin's Creed, fantastic franchise.
I love Assassin's Creed. I love Assassin's Creed, and I'm not bidding on it. I would love to see Ro bid on it, and then it gets a fucking 85 or something. Yeah,
right.
That would be insane. I'd be happy though. I mean, a good game. All right, let's close the show with. What you got for me, Dan? What you got for me? Well, Dan, I've got good news for you. I played quite a few rounds of the Splitgate 2 alpha. I had a lot of fun with it, actually. I enjoyed the first game as well. I kind of hated on it a little bit because they blatantly ripped all of their gun designs straight from Halo 4, and I was like, all right, this is a little bit much here. We're just ripping straight from another game. But I am enjoying the heck out of let me switch to the scene real quick. I am enjoying the heck out of Splitgate 2 as well. It feels completely different. Like in terms of style, it feels like it's its own game rather than trying to be something else, which I like that a lot. The guns all feel completely different than the first game, which I like. They have their own variety. The fucking sword in that game is cool. Like it's actually like a handheld sword. It's so cool. Just running around with that, and yeah, had a lot of fun with it. But I also played 5 hours of Avowed. I would like to have played more than that. I just haven't had a chance to play this week yet. I initially 2 weeks ago said that the first hour, after playing the first hour of the game, I was like, I can see where they're going with this, but I don't know if it's going to necessarily be something I super love or anything. I love Obsidian. And then 4 more hours into the game, I am completely sold. Like, this game is so much fun. Like, the more I play of this game and more peel back the layers of what the gameplay mechanics and the things that we're actually experiencing, it gets better as you go. Like, even talking to Gage about this off air, I was like thrown aback because I missed apparently one part of the tutorial that said that when you press the Y button, you switch to your other set of weapons. Like, you can have 2 different sets of weapons, like, pre-configured. And I thought I had my one set configured, but I thought pressing Y just takes you to, like, empty hands. Like, you know, a lot of games, like, you just go to empty hands like that.
Right.
So I was dumbfounded when Cage told me, no, you could configure a completely different set of weapons in that slot. And I was like, what? That fucking changes everything, because now I can have a ranged set and a fucking close-up set. That's so much cooler. That's awesome. So yeah, the more I play the game, I'm very much enjoying it. And Obsidian, I enjoy their writing, their characters. So far, I'm very much enjoying it. But
why
yes.
is Dan so blurry?
My Discord camera, I guess, is jacked up. Whoops. That is the voice of God. I mean, Christian.
That was my only response to about. I watched Gage play some of it.
You're a good friend.
That was crazy.
It kept happening. It keeps happening. I wonder if it's a bug that they're gonna fix. But I'll get into that.
I wanted to join for a very specific reason that's going to happen later in this.
There you go. You look perfect now, Dan.
Okay, thank you.
He does. That camera quality is insane.
That's the web. This is the webcam. The Discord one is. Okay. Ro, what you got for me then?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Say the line. Say the line.
He said the line. He did it.
Say it, Bart. Say it.
All right. Well, then, Ro, you're gonna have to catch up sooner or later. We're gonna have to.
Don't worry. And this summer, he's gonna talk about Jump Ship with us.
Oh yeah. He's gonna crash us into an alien planet.
There's a lot of games from that thing you guys talked about, Showcase, that look awesome for us to play.
Mm.
Yeah.
We just have to pull Ro in.
Pull me in.
Okay, Christian, you're here. What you got for me then?
Yeah, I got to preview about 8 hours of Expedition 33 for work, and that was awesome. I'm very excited for that game. I think it comes to Game Pass, which I think is very cool. They got a score like that. That's awesome. And then, like I mentioned in the comments, I put almost 50 hours somehow into Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm surprised because like the first 10 hours of that game, I was like, this is way too like complicated. They do a really bad job of onboarding you to a lot of like the stuff you can do in that game with all like the little items and stuff. But I played through the story with like Harley and my cousin Eric. A good chunk of it. I think the writing is bad. Like Gage will talk about how like silly the Avowed writing is bad. Like Capcom writing for this story is like actually like
what?
Like, this rivals how like silly some of this like writing is. It's all like the toxic positivity kind of like corny like writing. It's like Jesus, this is so cringe. It's bad. But dude, do you guys remember? You guys played Destiny? You guys have played Destiny, right?
Yeah.
When you beat the campaign, which is like 15 hours, you get to the post game content, and it's like, okay, well now the real game begins. All the stuff that they like put in the trailers and all the here's what the actual game is going to look like and how dynamic these hunts are. Like, oh, now I'm finally seeing it in action. On top of like weapons that give you like a lot of different cool buffs, and they all like do different things, and I'm like, okay, this is like really interesting. And so I decided to like get really into like learning up builds through YouTube guide videos, and now I'm having some of the most fun with like character action, melee combat in a game in a long time. It fucking rips. Surprisingly, Monster Hunter Wilds has way more gas than I was giving it credit for the first couple of 15 hours. And then we did a video game thing this weekend, video game adjacent thing that I can't wait for Gage to talk about. So I'm gonna be quiet now.
Well, then that means before Gage, before you go, I do want to shout out Keurig. He says in the chat, "Avowed is life. It's all I can think of." Wow, very high praise from Keurig.
Wow.
You're a good friend.
Gage, what you got for me?
Well, Daniel, I have also played. I'm gonna guess. Hold on. Can I bring up? Let me see if the Xbox app, if this works. View profile. Let me see how many hours I have.
Let me calculate it for you. So Gage normally plays 2 or 3 matches of a multiplayer game.
Yeah. Here we go. Okay, so I'm right there with you. I've got 4.5 hours played.
Nice.
Let me start off by saying that Avowed is, once I figured out what kind of game it was, I enjoyed it a lot more. So I had a similar thing with you where the first hour I wasn't really all that taken by it. I thought it was kind of lackluster. And then once I realized that it's not really a Skyrim competitor, it's not really a New Vegas competitor, it's kind of its own sort of light RPG, just mostly action adventure game. Then I did start enjoying the game a lot more. Some of the strong aspects, I think the combat is incredibly satisfying. It does not. It's funny because as I'm playing it, I realize that it does look exactly the same as how they showed it. But you're right, Dan. Like it's one thing to watch it and one thing to actually feel it and play it. So the combat is very kinetic. It's very fun. And the other thing I want to shout out that I think Obsidian knocked out of the park, sorry, is their environmental design, like the landscapes and the palettes and the color and the vibrancy. Very, very impressive stuff. The game is gorgeous. I disagree strongly with you, good sir, on the writing. I think this is one of the games that has a very, very bad case of the video game writing or video game dialogue. I've noticed that despite giving your first companion a very incredible voice actor, the same voice actor who does Garrus Vakarian in Mass Effect, you can't just give a good voice actor bad lines and make everything okay. I've noticed that as I'm running through the forest with him and we come across a group of enemies, we'll defeat the enemies and he'll say, "That's what you get when you come across a strong team." And then I've also noticed that with me, I have a bug that every time I die, without fail, as my screen fades to black, I hear Kai chirp up and say, "You're a good friend," every single time without fail. So my feelings on Avowed is very similar to Dragon's Dogma franchise, where I'm not here for the story. I'm not here for the characters. I'm here because the gameplay is extremely satisfying, and I'm also a little disappointed that, like I mentioned, that it's very RPG light. Like the amount of weapons variety is almost non-existent. Every weapon you find, it's like there's one type of weapon for each class, and they all look the same, except for unique weapons, which are very few and far between. So that's another disappointing thing. I'm somebody who, when I play my RPGs, I like character customization. I like lots of armor options. I like lots of weapon options. This game does not have that. As we've said, it's very RPG light. So that's a little disappointing, but that's my take on Avowed. Dan, do you have a rebuttal?
No, I don't have any rebuttal, but some of the things you were talking about, I was thinking about other things. When you're doing spells with the book, I fucking love that. I love the fucking animations behind that. Like, I love your look on your face makes it seem like you.
I haven't. No. I was waiting for a pause just to say I haven't tried the wand yet. I've only been doing bow and arrow, and I've tried all the melee weapons, but the only ranged weapon I've tried is the bow and arrow so far. I haven't found a pistol or a spell book yet.
Okay. In terms of the writing, I also wonder if we've played different portions of the game as well, because I haven't been doing a lot of the main quest. I've been doing a lot of side stuff. So I don't know if maybe we're in different areas or something. I'm not quite sure. But I do agree with you with the Garrus voice actor. I fucking love that voice actor as well. I love Garrus, and I think that character is very lackluster. I agree with you on that. And also, there might be some slight bias naturally in my head because I think of that writing, and I think of it in the context of the Outer Worlds, where it's very much deliberate in that, because it's like that's what the Outer Worlds is. Like, it's Spacer's choice. Like, it's really like just that kind of goofiness to it. Like, and maybe that's me positioning Avowed as more goofy than it should be in my head. Maybe I will start to see that in the story where they're trying to do like a serious take on the main quest.
Right.
And then I'm going to be like taken aback, like, okay, this is kind of weird. Like, this doesn't make sense. But yeah, there's the side quests I've encountered are very interesting as well. Like, you'll just randomly encounter things like, and difficult. There was a spider cave I fucking went into. I saw like 2 spiders in there. I was like, I'm gonna get this fucking treasure chest down here. This is gonna be sick. I'm gonna get some new stuff. Walk in there, start killing the 2 spiders. Fucking like 17 the big spiders just fucking start crawling out, and I'm like, fuck. And those spiders are not easy to kill. Those fuckers are difficult, like really difficult. So yeah.
I find that it's one of those RPGs where it doesn't feel like the combat is so, I'm not gonna say it's like crazy well designed, because it is pretty simple. It's just, it's so well thought out, I guess, that like it does feel like you can overcome odds that in another game you'd be like, oh, I'm just not ready for this area yet. I'll leave and come back. Whereas like there was this one, I found this unique weapon that was kind of sitting on this pedestal, and as soon as you pick it up, it spawns a bunch of enemies that you have to fight through. And I repeated that encounter like, I want to say 6 or 7 times, because I kept dying. But like every time I died, I made more and more progress. And the tool set the game gives you in regards to combat and dodging and parrying and all that stuff, like you can really, you can kind of be tactical with how you're fighting groups of enemies. It's very satisfying that way, even when the odds are against you. So I agree with that. The combat is very, very satisfying. My next thing. So
Wait,
Christian's here.
Wait, before you go to your next thing, sorry, Kirik wants to also say he agrees with your weapons point. It could be better. He said, I've seen many videos with bugs and glitches, but haven't had them in his playthrough. Fair enough.
And to be fair, I mean, somebody repeating a corny voice line it's not the worst bug in the world. Like, it's not like gameplay hampering. It's just kind of like
annoying.
Immersion breaking slightly. Exactly.
Right.
So it's nothing that's keeping me from continuing playing.
We were just giggling at the character chirp writing. I can't speak to the quality of like quest writing. I'm sure that's like actual, way different. Can I say 2 things as a person that just is like watching clips of this? Like major battles with like a sword and stuff, like those are the kinds where like they do cool stuff with like the action feeling kinetic. With like I don't know, is it like maybe camera shake or something? They do like little things where like it'll like stop for a second and then like boom, and then like you can feel kind of the impact of swords like that.
Right.
I was watching Gage play with a bow. That shit looked like it was tickling like fodder enemy. I was not seeing him do any sort of like major damage with it. But the crits though, the big icon that flashes when you get a crit, it's like a giant yellow circle. I would tone that down a little bit.
It looks a little mobile gamey too. Yeah,
I sticker.
It seems like an unfinished design, because I'm like, it's just a flat circle with like not special font, and I'm like, was this supposed to be left like this? It seems a little
Arial light font.
Right.
Whatever.
It's like tap the screen when the yellow circle appears to get more gold. Like it's a very strange critical hit thing. I definitely have been, but this is how I play RPG sometimes, is I will sit there for 30 minutes using the bow to kill an enemy that I'm not supposed to be able to kill yet, because I'm just a piece of shit that wants to cheese the game a little bit. It's definitely, the bow and arrow gameplay is not the most engaging, but I was doing it on purpose to try and
I'm surprised you have the patience, Dan. I'm surprised you didn't start scrolling 2 minutes in.
You know what's funny? I thought about this in my head as I was doing it, and I was like, why can I do this and not do the things I need to do in real life? Because there's immediate satisfaction around the corner with these once I kill these enemies.
And the bow, you have to hold it longer to get more damage out of it as well. Like if you just tap it, you don't get the same result.
Yeah. But the meat and potatoes of what you got for me is a few weeks ago. I'm pretty sure Christian initially suggested it, but either way, we eventually mutually agreed to it. But a couple weeks ago, Christian suggested that we should watch Emilia Perez.
Oh god!
And we did.
No way, that was me.
I think it was you initially. I think it was initially, and then I just went with it. But either way, we both sat down to watch Emilia Perez, which was, it's very deserving of the criticism it gets. So I thought to myself, why stop there? Why stop at one bad movie? What if I made Christian watch Borderlands with me?
No.
And Christian and I sat down and we got ourselves some drinks and some other things.
I told you.
We watched Borderlands in its entirety.
Why?
And I would like you to back me up on this, that my initial prediction that it is exceptionally remarkably bad held firm. It is almost impressively bad.
It's somehow worse than you think it is. Like the first 15 minutes, like, okay, I can see what they're going for. It's not landing, but like, surely it can't be this bad. And then it gets worse and worse. I think we spent like the whole time, every 15 minutes, talking about like, I wonder what, like, if Dan like shook his head at this, or like, I wonder what the reaction was in his theater. It was so bad. We ended up like not even like laughing at the screen. It was just like silent in the last hour. Can I say one thing before Gage goes? There was a moment right after this like really flat action set piece. I was like, man, can you believe we're only 45 minutes in? And Gage goes, what? No way. I was joking. I had no idea how long we had been into this movie. And then I looked right after I made the joke, and it was 53 minutes in. I was not that far off. We had an hour to go. I was like, fuck. This is a nightmare. Yeah, not good.
Yeah. There's this one major action set piece that happens like 20 minutes in, and it's where I had originally paused the movie and said, I need to get Christian to watch this with me. I think it's the tiny Tina when she's standing on top of the truck and she's throwing these bombs at what's her name? What's the actress's name?
Kate
Blanchett. Yeah. It's so impressively bad. It feels like a movie that
Randy Pitchford.
It almost feels like an Adam Sandler movie where it's like, I want to pay all my buddies, but I want to do it legally, and so let's hire them to make this movie, and we'll just half-ass it, and everybody gets a paycheck. It's impressively bad. It's
Madam Web better than this.
That's crazy to me after seeing the trailers of Madam Web. I wonder. I said this to Christian too at some point. I wonder what the Craig Mazin version of this movie looked like. Obviously that was when it was rated R, and before it had all of its reshoots and rewrites. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's bad. It's not good.
Dan was right. Kevin Hart horrifically miscast in this. Why would you hire Kevin Hart and have him play the straight man in this?
Yeah. Everyone. I tried to mention to Christian at some point, because he's not really played the games. I was like, Tiny Tina is supposed to be like a Jinx / Harlequin type character, and in this movie, she's just a regular ass boring teenager. That like she's nothing like the character at all. It seems like one of these adaptations where Eli Roth like watched 10 minutes of Borderlands gameplay footage. He's like, okay, I get it. Yeah, I get it. I'll do it. And it's none of the characters resemble their counterparts at all. Everyone's miscast. Everyone's 20 years older than they're supposed to be, no matter which character it is.
I mean,
it's crazy.
To be fair to Eli Roth, fucking Randy Pitchford is fucking there. Like, what the fuck? What is Randy Pitchford doing if he's not consulting, saying, like, this isn't fucking Borderlands, because he doesn't know what Borderlands is himself. He's a fucking idiot. Anyways.
He is. Don't ever put me in the position of defending Randy Pitchford. But
oh god.
But if he comes to set, once every month and just checks in and like, oh, this is cool that you guys are filming this.
No.
He has like
He was there the whole time.
Every day, right?
He was there
Was he?
the whole time.
Yeah.
He was
Oh,
live
wow.
tweeting about it. Yeah. He was there the whole time.
Then I got nothing to say, man. I don't know how you let this happen.
Yep.
There's one question though at the end of the Borderlands movie that me and Gage had.
Jesus.
Is this gonna be better than the Minecraft movie? We'll have to wait and find out.
Honestly, I think that I'm more hyped for the Minecraft movie than fucking Borderlands.
We'll have to wait and find out.
My question is, what the fuck did you guys expect when I said it was my fucking least favorite movie I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life, and nobody should ever fucking see this movie? Did you guys?
What, you're not, Dan? I didn't recommend watching it because I thought you were lying. I recommended watching it because I thought you were telling the truth,
Oh,
That's true.
and you were right.
God. That's so bad. Oh.
That climax of that movie, wild. I don't know what was going on. Why would they do that?
Right, and they did the cliche play a recognizable pop song at the end, so that you think that you've had a fun time as the credits start rolling.
The credits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Roland's final line that he's iconic for saying.
What did he say again?
Let's fucking get out of here or something like something stupid that I'm like, Roland would never say that. What are we talking about? I forget what the exact line is now.
Christian and I talked about this throughout the entire film, is that for some reason Kevin Hart decided to play the movie straight, and he's doing an actual serious character, and it's crazy that the one time Kevin Hart decides to do that and take it seriously, it's the Borderlands movie, because his character kept reacting to everything as if it was a serious situation. I'm like, this is.
And the thing is, you already have the character who plays it straight, because Kate Blanchett is the one that's like, she's the one that doesn't want to be in the situation. So now you have two like people trying to play it straight. It doesn't work. So the people that are funny aren't funny.
Right. And it's funny because Kate Blanchett's character didn't want to be in the situation, but it was quite clear that Kate Blanchett also didn't want to be in the situation.
Fat ass.
There was this one shot where she's like, I think it was pretty early on, because like for the first 40 minutes, we were getting what I wanted to get out of the movie. You and I were laughing at all the awful things, and it was like, this is incredibly bad. Let's have fun with it. And there was a moment around that mark where like she's driving, and there's supposed to be like some sort of ships chasing her, and she just kind of like looks up and has no reaction and goes back to driving. And I was like, man, she does not want to be here at all.
Yeah.
The line was time to go get drunk. I just looked it up.
Yeah.
Time to go get drunk. Iconic line from Roland from the Borderlands games. Wait.
Big recommend from me. I recommend everybody watch this movie.
No.
This is dead last. I watched 67 movies last year. It's number 67 on the list.
I'd hope so. I'd rather watch paint dry than watch that movie again.
I'd watch it again. Roll up the window.
God.
Yeah. I got pee in my mouth.
There was 2 gags that got me engaged. Don't lie. Don't lie.
There was 2, and it's funny. Both of them, we underestimated the movie. We thought that they were worse than they actually were. Yeah, there was 2 decent bits in the. I can't remember. One of them was the flower growing out of the concrete. I can't remember what the other one was.
I can't either, but there was one more. Like, okay. Like we both said, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Ro, you're the only one that hasn't watched Borderlands.
Don't.
If there's, I would not make you watch the movie, bro.
Miserable time.
What about Amelia Perez? Has some good songs, doesn't
Wow, that's a really hard answer. No,
I almost
songs.
For a split second, my mind was like, I got more entertainment out of Borderlands than Amelia Perez. I don't know if that's true though. This is a really hard toss-up.
It's okay. I'll see.
You know what, Ro? Watch both of them just in case, and then you tell us which one's better.
If you were gonna have like a bad movie night, I would go for Amelia Perez.
Okay.
not Borderlands. That's like actual like shovelware type movies. At least Emilia Perez is like Oscar nominated. You can have that conversation. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Borderlands, that's just bad.
Yeah.
They were trying with Emilia Perez. They were trying to make an important movie.
It doesn't work, obviously, but at least they were trying.
What do you mean, Gage? Borderlands is a fucking critically acclaimed movie, according to Brandy Pitchford, who also says that Aliens Colonial Marines is better than... Anyway, whatever the fuck he says about that.
Homeworld 3.
All right, Randy, why don't you stick to fucking video games? Actually, don't even do that. Just fucking quit video games also. Thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Gage. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
See ya.
Adios.